Nestled on 15 wooded acres, stands a place where winter yields to passion. For 74 years, the Short Hills Invitational has called to the finest. Here, tradition finds its perfect echo. Legends are remembered, rivalries are renewed. This is the Short Hills Club Platform Tennis Invitational, a tradition unlike any other, where heated courts defy the season and skill meets grace. The Short Hills Invitational, where the paddle sings and the spirit of the game lives on. Join us as history unfolds, a tradition unsurpassed.
We're all tied up, and this first set is dead even.
Unbelievable combination.
Wow. Beautifully done.
What a great spot.
Hello and welcome to the 2025-26 APTA Tour. We're live from the Short Hills Club in Short Hills, New Jersey, bringing you the 2026 Short Hills Invitational Grand Prix. With live streaming brought to you by the APTA membership and our tour presenting sponsor, Corient. Tournament support has also been provided by the following. Presenting sponsor, JP Morgan Private Bank, the world's best private bank. And additional local sponsors, Maple Crest Ford, Lincoln of Union, Xenon Paddle, Spyro Harrison and Nelson, Paper Ribbon Wrap, T-Spa by Tutela Plastic Surgery, New Jersey Men's Platform Tennis Association, Suzanne Emmerich of Keller Williams Premier Properties, Club Pilates, New Jersey Women's Platform Tennis League, Swax Lax Lacrosse, New Jersey Flex League, and I'm Brad Easterbrook alongside Steve Sullivan with men's round of 16 action between our number one seeds of Regalado and Salazar and the team of Hansen and Mello. Our umpire, and we'll get into the umpire situation in a minute, for this match is Mark Bliss. Steve, welcome to the booth.
Brad, good to be here. It's balmy. A balmy negative feels like negative 10.
Negative 5, negative 10. I tell you, this is worse than Boston for sure, to me. I mean, I was in Boston, and it was about 3 degrees there. This feels worse. The wind is intensely strong out here.
Yeah, so we have little player introduction here, Dan Hansen and Mello. Hansen's a lefty. He's going to be a little bit crafty, loves to cut the ball, loves to generate a lot of interesting spin. Not a lot to say about Regalado and Salazar. This is the team of the last couple of years. They came on the scene hot. A lot of people are talking like this is their year. They haven't won the national championship yet. They're in form. They're sort of been running the table a little bit. Some mix-ups. Nunez has played with both of them throughout the season. But, yeah, I don't think the conditions are going to be that difficult, but the wind's always the difficult factor. The cold is the cold, but the wind is the tricky one. You can see, I'll just introduce the players a little bit here. We have Mello now near side, deuce court, Dan Hansen serving on the ad, and then the far side we have, that's Alvi Regalado in the deuce and Jose Salazar in the ad court. Yeah, it should be an interesting matchup. I think it's going to be a fun match. It's cold. This is their second match of the day. They will play through the quarters today, and then tomorrow men's semis and finals. So, yeah, I think both teams are going to bring it, right? I don't think it's going to be that day that they want to spend 2.5 hours in the court. So, looking for some offense.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. And you see one of our producers, Jake, going out there. Some last-minute adjustments. So the umpires are not going to be out on the court. They have heated seat pads, but the wind is too intense. So they're going to be up in actually a heated area and a viewing area where they're going to be keeping track of the score. But there'll be no umpire overrules. The players will try to call it if line calls. So here and there we may have a scoring issue, but bear with us as we get all that information out to you. Also, in this matchup, I don't anticipate, like you said, a ton of lobs. I mean, but when I was watching the play before, the wind is swirling and it's moving, and that's the difficult part about it. I think we're going to see less cut overheads as well, more rollers. People are going to have a harder time, cutting the ball in this cold weather. So I see a lot of attacking rollers going at the crease, but we'll see.
Yeah, we watched, you saw a little screenshot before of us sitting up in the pro shop, so the clubhouse. We have a nice bird's eye view for part of the court. And, yeah, it looks like first point there. And this is Jose Salazar, far side serving.
And that's Dan Hansen doing some work up at the net, trying to blitz. Oh, Mello with a little acrobatic forehand volley over the head. It's great weather for drop shots. Yeah, I would have been surprised not to see him do a drop shot there, but he puts it right in the crease, so well done.
Yeah, we watched a little bit. Iverson Owens took on Salazar Regalado in the first round. I think you're right. High lobs with the wind are a little bit tricky. Expect to see some drops. Expect to see the ball staying a little bit lower. The wind's going to blow, I think, 20+ mile-an-hour gusts. So this is it's going to be a little bit tricky, but yeah, nice. You can see it there. Dan Hansen using his spin, keeping the ball really, really low.
Yeah, it's a great shot there. Yeah, on the low lobs, I definitely will see it. And Dan Hansen is an excellent cutter of the ball. He's got a great cut overhead, the lefty there. Great shot. Get it in. I think he was a little screened to Mello, actually, because Hansen was making a move up there at the net. All right, so 2 break points still for Hansen Mello. And, of course, their scoring on the men's side is, of course, it gets the deuce, and then the serving team gets to choose who takes the next ball. Mello a little flat-footed on that one. So 1 break point saved.
Yeah, it looks to be the first time that Hansen and Mello were playing together, so that was sort of a communication, flat-footed or yours, mine. Yeah, back. So this is it. First sudden deuce. You mentioned server's choice, new scoring with the APTA this year. Maybe it's shortening the matches. I like the suspense. Certainly the top players, a little more risk for them, you know, getting into these 50-50 points.
Well, great return from Mello. He jammed him on the backhand serve before, got him to miss it, but that one was right in the sweet spot, and Mello answers, crushing the drive through the middle. 1-0 for Hansen and Mello.
Yeah, home club. This is a home game for Alvi Regalado. I think a little bit warmer temperatures maybe later in the day. Some of the Short Hills members are going to be out, giving him a little bit of support. Not that he needs it, but yeah, home game.
All right, so this is Alberto Mello serving.
Yeah, nice underhand serve by Mello.
That's a great cut there. On the low lobs, we will see the cutters if they get it up in the wind, but that's sort of the trick of the whole day. To control the ball higher into the wind is going to be a tougher thing. So maybe, in fact, I was saying in the beginning that we'll see probably less cutters, but if they're not able to lob the ball high, so it does start moving around in the wind, there's no reason we're not going to see more of them, actually.
Yeah, I think what we're seeing, if, you know, looking at the trees behind the courts, the wind's moving behind Salazar Regalado towards Hansen and Mello. So they're going to be the ones that are going to have to sort of temper those high lobs.
Oh, this is the backhand cutter there. That ball took a funny, I think it spun out at him because it was such an awkward hit from Salazar. And again there, it's hard to see the players as they're bundled up, but we'll go over it one more time. Serving, Alberto Mello's partner Dan Hansen, the lefty at the net. Returning, Jose Salazar. And the blue cap. And what kind of cap is that with the ear flaps on? I like it. It's kind of like the old school cap.
Elmer Fudd. Elmer
Fudd right, cap, there you go for Regalado. Alvi Regalado. All right, so Hansen, break point here. Get this game back to even. And he misses 2 cutters. They were in good shape in that game. And 2 cutters finished him. And, you know, live by the sword, die by the sword there. So break back, 1-1.
Yeah, you can see the hand of Jose Salazar going in the pocket. We have offhand glove and a mitt. Let's see. Nope, he's taking them both off. So Alvi Regalado was playing in a mitt in his first match. He's going barehanded. Most players will want to put a bare hand on the racket hand, and a lot will go glove on the non-hand. So
that was a thunder ball right there, just a little long. Right at the crease, he's gotten so good at that. They're really designing their game a lot now, Regalado and Salazar, and they'll switch at the net now with Salazar attacking with that roller overhead. They can still do it many different ways, But Regalado Salazar, they'll start to switch at the net now.
Yeah, the first year where they really came on the scene and were deep in all the draws, I think we could identify some paddle IQ opportunities where their positioning at the net was a little bit off. You know, they were competing for balls at times. But yeah, they have all the options in the world. And the great thing about this team is they're still getting better. They're still sort of innovating how they play, their technique. They're playing a little faster this year, I feel like, a little more offense than they did maybe last year. So nice spot there. Yeah, dead in the corner.
Great shot. And of course, the cold weather there, it almost seemed like he reacted like he was a little frozen. He hit the big drive. The volley kind of went behind him slow, caught him. And it's just impossible to track that down. If it's another 10 degrees, he easily tracks that down. So he'll just keep powering at that crease. And he's going towards the other one. Right there again. He's looking for it. He's close. He's close.
He's not sure which one he wants.
He's just trying them. You know, but either way, see, we talk about, like, and a lot of players learn early on to what's called pick and stick, kind of keep the ball on one side. If you have an attacking overhead and you're not getting hurt, it's okay to switch sides. It's just a question of don't do it when you're just feeding it into a guy and they get a drive. You don't want to switch play into a drive. All right. So 2-1 now, Regalado Salazar.
Yeah, quick settling down by Regalado and Salazar. Hansen, Mello started quick. I think they need to sort of find their rhythm. I feel like they're not.
I think they just missed balls.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, they were up in that game before. They could have taken a 2-love lead. They missed 2 cutters and made a loose shot. And they're helping Regalado and Salazar right now. But like you said, nobody's really dialing in for long points yet. It is tough conditions out there, which actually makes it sort of a mental battle as well. That's a great return there from Salazar.
So very interesting technique. Hansen sort of has that low contact point, half sort of cut, push serve, stays low, you know, just like the roller of Mello. The challenge is you're playing against the two of the best returners in the game. So
good close there from Mello. Hansen trying to mix it up, still doing a lot of cuts and work. He'll keep cutting it.
yeah, you see really open stance, a little like Drew Broderick has that, he faces the court, doesn't have that typical trophy shoulder turn, but generates, I mean, you can just see the impact on his shoulder, generates a ton of sort of torque.
Yeah, but that time that one gets away, and you could see Salazar waiting in the forehand grip that time, and he just tattoos that spin overhead. So even a spin overhead, it's not always going to just cut right off the bat. You can take him off the deck. Big hit there. Little hip pocket volley there from Mello. Stylish. Yeah, so far, if you have to dial it up right now, and you say, and I say to you, Hansen and Mello, triple break point here, you know, that Hansen's cutter is going to hurt him, not help him. We're going to say they have no chance in this match, right? And as of now, he had one cut winner in the beginning, and it's been about 3 or 4 errors since then. If that's going to continue, they're not going to have a chance in this match.
Yeah, at some point you watch the match and you say he's got to put that in his pocket, but at the end of the day, I think that's what a shot there. Yeah, great move, Alvin Regalado, just moves forward, sort of a one-handed push backhand into the corner, just dead. So great spot to take a 3-1 lead. Jose Salazar back serving in the second rotation.
Yeah, Hansen and Mello are going to have to, I mean, slow it down. I mean, just tighten it up, really, more than anything else. Yeah. You know, he's trying to attack with the cut overheads, but he's not getting the compression. The ball's not moving as much. And right now he's missing more than he's making, you know, and that's a balance of the points. The points are not easy to come by against Regalado Salazar. You can't hand them too many. Tweener, nice. Well played.
Yeah, Tweener looked a little bit easy and natural for Alvy Regalado, but the ball is going to come softly and low off the screen. A little cat and mouse. I think he had to go to the open court there.
Yeah, probably. It gets tricky in that situation. You're afraid the guy's going to cut, so sometimes you go in there. But again, the cutter didn't help him there. He saw it coming, and he gets into a situation where they probably don't want to be there, which is having Regalado come, up to the net. They're very good in the exchange, Salazar, Regalado. And in that case there, the cat and mouse game, the honest truth, I haven't seen a lot of Mello play. This is the first time I'm seeing him play on the live stream, so we're still getting a sense of that. You want to try to match up your strengths as much as you can. And if the strengths are the other direction, and make sure you don't work into your opponent's strengths.
Yeah, there's the cutter. I don't think that even,
Didn't
made
even
contact.
reach the snowboard. That was a perfect shot on the perfect ball. Ripping that off the screen. That was wide. Yep. Great screen drives from Hansen. Crushing them. The ball's still moving, as cold as it is. It's not compressing as much, but these guys are striking it hard. I'm not sure, that serve is coming that far off the screen. He might want to take a notch off of it so it doesn't fly as much, Salazar. Into the ad court, he's going to be fine. But into the deuce court, it's really going to fly off that back screen.
Yeah, the ball sounds a little bit, the court sound we can hear, it sounds a little bit hard. I think you're right. They're not getting all the compression they're used to.
That was perfect pace there. Great read. Mello makes a move up the wire, but it's too short a lob. Regalado sees it, bunts it behind him. And normally you'd expect coverage there, but Hansen was surprised he moved. All right, so once again, they have 2 break points, and we're going to get here to a sudden death game. Yeah, that hard one off the back wire into the Hansen forehand. Oh, good look, and Mello's got to be backhand ready there. He looks surprised by that drive. Great shot from Salazar.
All right, let's give a shout out to one of our national sponsors, Corient. Corient is the official wealth sponsor of the APTA's 2025-2026 season. Corient is a fee-only wealth manager who puts their clients at the center of everything they do. Learn more at corient.com. Yeah, I think Mello's a little bit flat-footed. You called it right, Brad. He looked a little surprised the ball was coming to him. But, yeah, it's 4-1. Definitely a couple opportunities lost by Hansen and Mello. They're not so out of it. A little bit more about execution more than anything.
They had 2 break points in that game. Essentially 3 break points, because once you get the deuce, when you're 15-40 down up, you have 3 break points because you got the one at 15-40, 30-40, and then you got the deuce point. Couldn't convert. Good serves.
Nice shot there, the Short Hills Pro Shop, where we're perched up today, Brad.
Yep, we're right up there on the upper right of your screen. We're basically, can they see the wave? Nope. Steve, get up. I don't think they can see it, but we're right in that front window there.
I may get up. I'm not getting out. A little cold for that today.
You know what? I went out early just to see what it was like. I bundled up and I watched a good 10 minutes. And it was about as much as I could take. And they have stands out there on the side. You can see there's no one in them. It is rough out there. And it's more than just the temperature. It's the wind. People are watching, but they're watching from indoors or they're curled up and taking advantage of the live stream, which is put on so well by our partners, Joho and Streambox Lab. All right, so a little break in the action here. I'm not sure what it is, but 4-1 Regalado Salazar.
All right, here we go. Mello serving there on the far side.
He's got that heavy 3/4 arm serve. It's not really an underhand. It's 3/4 arm, sidearm serve. I like that one. Actually, as things go, people are getting more away from the underhand serve. There's other bits and pieces going, or away from the topspin underhand serve, we'll say. You got
Durant
Mello,
Mitchell sort of went to it until it didn't feel right, then they went away from it.
Right, and in general, more.
Yeah,
more. You're seeing Moyo using just a flat
dribbler.
underhand serve, just low. That time he gets them. Has them fading back and away. Good shot. He had him wrong-footed there. Yeah, that's going to be a big tail of the tape, just right on the line. Drop shot weather is good. These guys are so quick, though, that just with any move that they can see, they'll get most of them. And one of the unique things is, like, this is a brand new team, sort of Mello and Hansen. Now, Hansen's used to playing with a million partners, but no matter what, when you play with a million partners, you still have to work out some teamwork things. When that drop shot comes, I would love to see them make a play where they're sort of both backing off the net a little. I'd rather see one guy, the guy who's in front of the drop shot, stay right in there, and the other guy give a half step. And anything that's short and over, the guy in the front tries to just knock an offensive volley back. And if he happens to lob it well and it gets up, well, the guy behind can take it or let it drop, and they can easily transition back, or he might get an offensive overhead.
Yeah, you can hear that win. Here's the third game, 40-15 for Hansen and Mello. I think this, third time they've been up big in a game, and there they go. They capitalize on it.
All right, 4-2 now, Regalado Salazar. Little stretch on that drive there from Jose Salazar. Couldn't come up with it. Hansen again, just letting it go to the screen and just hammering drives, but good volley there.
You can hear the team. Oh, I had that one. You can hear Salazar, Regalado communicating. They have great communication, you know, making sure they know where each other's moving, who's taking what balls. So, yeah, that's a forehand Dan Hansen's sort of got to make.
Yeah, he's been great off the screen. Great cut there. Sees the space. That low cutter's been very effective. The one where he's able to get the ball dropping, playing it very low to the net, and moving it low through the court. Great shot.
All right, first to 30.
Kind of a flyer backhand chopper there. Kind of a big point. 30 all now. It's just long. Hansen been pretty lights out off that screen. That one stayed a little lower. It's a better serve. He's just got to take the pace down a half a notch. I'm also not so sure, Steve, that Hansen's screen drive isn't actually slightly better than his regular off the deck drive. He can hit it, of course.
Yeah, he times it well. He sort of has a really nice strong shoulder turn, and yeah, to your point, a little more spin, a little less pace. I don't think the pace is going to be what throws off Salazar and Regalado. Sometimes that loopy, heavier spin. Nice patient dig there.
Oh, chip forehand. Ball's a little lower than you want for that type shot. 5-2 now, Regalado Salazar.
Yeah, you see Dan Hansen right there getting a little Gatorade. Team's definitely trying to communicate. I think they probably feel what we see is that they're in a lot of these games. They're getting the 30 point on the board and not converting, right? A couple errors there. That game went away very quickly.
Right. They got to 15-30. Then it was a high backhand chopper that Mello went wide. That one was a little tougher than the lower ball there that Hansen just missed. So it's, like you said, just a couple of points here and there. You know, they just got to tighten it up a little bit. Good leave there. Thunder return with the blitz behind it. Needs super soft hands, even in this cold weather, to deal with that.
Yeah, sometimes you say the underhand or that sort of push serve has benefits in the cold until it doesn't. And it could be just that perfect height. You see both Salazar and Regalado really teeing off on the underhand serves.
Oh, just wide. He tried to make a tricky little lob over Mello's backhand side, which would have forced probably a weak overhead. but he pushes it just wide. They're talking about how they want to deal with this Salazar return right now, who's been stepping up because it's a soft push serve, which means Salazar can take it early. So they had a poach plan there, but at least they knew the plan. They had the hole in plan, which is Hansen's not coming in, and if Mello can't cut it off,
let it go.
then he lets it go, and Hansen gets it off the back screen. So that's a good play, and I like the thought process behind it. Salazar saw it. He didn't actually drive that cross court. He kind of went slightly behind Mello.
Yeah, and as a lefty, Hansen gets to chase that a little bit with his forehand. So, yeah, it's the right play on the right side of the court.
Yeah. And I agree with it. The only negative about it is when you do have the super soft serve, it's really hard to make a move that your opponent doesn't see because the serve's so slow, it's not moving through the court where you have to make an instant decision. You can almost wait a half second, see if he moves, doesn't move, right? Just hit it. That said, it's still probably better than trying to make the first volley. But one thing that you said in the beginning, Steve, that's definitely holding true, these players aren't looking to play long points, right? Have we seen a point that's gone like 50 balls even,
Not
30
even
balls,
close.
even 20 balls, right?
No.
Nothing. At this point in certain weather, we're going to see 30 of those points by now, right? Or, you know, a whole slew of them. These points are moving quickly. All right, so it's set point here for Regalado Salazar. Good dipping ball. Nice soft hands there from Mello. There are so few safe spots to hit against Regalado Salazar. All right, Hansen dealing with the cutters. They're actually buckling down on this point. They want this first set point. They don't want to hang around out there. So you can see him playing a little longer, waiting for the right ball. Hansen's going to keep trying to put the pressure on with the cut. All right, so that's about 10 overheads in a row from Hansen. Just keeps trying to work it, and they're going to stay patient here, and he just misses the last one. I mean, you can't even call it a great lob, right, Steve? It's just, you just one more. All right, so that is game and first set for Regalado Salazar, 6-2. And we'll be right back in just a moment here on the APTA YouTube network here at the Short Hills Invitational.
A lot of founders start out with an idea, maybe in a garage, in a shared workspace, and really being a co-pilot along that whole journey from ideation to execution to maybe monetization one day is really the role we've decided to take in the marketplace. So I feel like we have really found a part of the market and offering that just really hasn't existed. It's this coaching, it's therapy, it's co-piloting on a journey that is unique.
All right, welcome back to the APTA Tour. I'm Brad Easterbrook here with Steve Sullivan at the Short Hills Club and the Short Hills Invitational, where Regalado and Salazar took the first set 6-2. Here's our stats by court director, Steve. Take a look. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, a little bit one-sided, 6-2. The points won also 61%. It doesn't feel like a big deficit. It's a pretty huge deficit.
That's a huge deficit, yeah.
So one sudden deuce point, to each side. I think, my takeaway in the first set, it was a lot closer than 6-2. It was, we talked about it getting into the second game and the third game. It was a bit of an execution issue. Some balls that, Dan Hansen had, I think, have been off, their footing a little bit, but they're sort of right in it. I think they got to keep going, right? The cutter it's how they play. It's how they're going to generate offense. They just have to make them.
Yeah, I mean, I'll take that a step further. To me, it's not just they have to execute. You could see in moments when certain points of the match where Regalado and Salazar, they're playing fast too. They don't want to stay out there for hours. But in the big moment where they're up 5-2 and they get to break point, now they play a long point and they don't just go into the miss. And Hansen, of course, he just misses the overhead, right? So they're willing to shift it into a different gear at certain times in the match. Other than that, they're going to keep going and playing fast. Right now, it seems for Hansen and Mello, they're just kind of going at it, and and they made errors in crucial moments, right? So, and that's because they never dialed it back to a place where, when they dialed it back and they were lobbing, they won it with a lob, but it wasn't even a good lob. They were just staying patient, waiting for the ball. We're not really seeing that part of it where they're dialing it back to a second level for Hansen and Mello.
Yeah, that last point of the set probably went to 30, 40, maybe 50 shots. It was the only point of the first set that went deep from a patience perspective. I think you said it, Brad. There were a couple takes where Regalado had it, just chose not to go, pull the trigger. They're very patient. It'll be interesting to see if this, stays at this fast pace or slows down a little bit. Obviously, Hansen and Mello have to find a way to keep getting those lower, softer overheads where they can maybe generate some extra spin. But Regalado and Salazar, the team, we keep saying that this could be their year. This should be their year. They've been the dominant team.
I mean, they're certainly the front runners.
Yeah.
You would have to call them the front runners for nationals at this point. And there's really no arguing that.
Yeah, it's Jose Salazar serving. Quick 4 points to take the 1-love lead. Yeah, it'll be interesting. We talked about the weather. It's cold. It's going to get progressively colder. The temps are one thing in the teens, but it's the feels like. I think we're going to get, at some point this afternoon through tomorrow, and I believe the finals, we're going to get to feels like -10, sort of a steady line.
I think we got that this morning for sure early. It's a little better now, but it's the wind more than anything else. It's hard. We don't really have a view of the top of the trees, but you can hear it if you just, listen to the courts. They have a kind of a players' lounge downstairs, and they have the matches on, the non-streamed, non-commentated matches. They're just sort of on in the background there, and if you're listening to, you just hear this din like of the rain of the wind sound in the back of the court. It's windy out there.
Yeah, I'm looking out the neighborhood behind the Short Hills Club. You can see fireplaces going. I see, 2 or 3 just, steam coming through. But yeah, here we go. So this is really the moment of truth, right? If you're Hansen and Mello, you got to get on the board early or you may not get on the board. So that's Mello serving.
And they chose Mello to start this one. His serve's a little, Hansen serves kind of, it's combo, meaning it could give you trouble, but if it doesn't, then it's kind of just sitting there for you. It's sort of lower and softer.
Yeah, we mentioned this is the first time, at least in the last 2 years, that this team of Mello and Hansen have played together. Lefty-righty is advantageous if you're very clear on who's taking the forehand overhead. And you could see that last point. There was almost a mid-point, mine, yours, mine, right? That you got to be very decisive. You have to have a communication to know. It's another 2 in a row there by Dan Hansen, just sort of putting that ball in the net.
Good blitz. Oh, almost there. Hansen couldn't quite come up with a great attack. These guys are able to take every return, though, inside the baseline. And when somebody's taking a return, I think he was feeling the flow there. He went for a quick little lob over the head and blitz to just change the momentum. But every return they're taking is inside the baseline, which means they're just consistently attacking. And usually the benefit of a serve that's a little slower, so 2-love now, of course, for Regalado and Salazar, is that you can get to the net more and maybe possibly volley more downward than upward. And right now the attack, there's just too much there from Regalado Salazar.
Yes, we mentioned this is a round of 16 match. We'll play the quarters. We come on at 3 p.m. this afternoon, and the winner of this match will play the winner of Murphy, Schneider, Burish, Erdoya, who's playing, a little bit more outside the window that we're looking at, which should be an interesting matchup. And yeah, we have a great draw. Fraser Rams, which is Stojic, the 4 seeds. Of course, we have Guillermo Nunez and Mark Powers, our 3 seed, and McNerney Morgan at the bottom. So yeah, a lot more paddle to come. We're going to play the semis and finals tomorrow. But yeah, if you're Regalado and Salazar, you make every point count, right? These are temps and conditions. You don't want to be out there for any longer than you can. Nice move there.
Oh, what a dig. That's a great dig there from, Regalado. It's a really good blitz from Hansen. Oh, that's perfect placement. Oh,
Yep.
just wide, actually.
Yep, just missed.
Yeah. He's standing right in the middle of the court. He loves hitting his backhand. He's very good at both. His backhands, it's one of the better backhands in the game, Salazar. Oops. He mishit that ball, Hansen, badly enough where it had a curve to it, an inside-out curve. You could see Salazar looking to cut it off, but it kept moving away from him. So it totally shocked him.
Yeah, just missed. It's a tough shot to make. There's a very small window there to hit that inside in sort of forehand.
And you mentioned the men's draw, and of course, right after this, we're going to be going right into the women's quarterfinals, and then after that, the men's quarterfinals. And like you said before, the semis and the finals are going to be tomorrow. And Short Hills to me is really like it's always been this legendary tournament that people play right before Nationals. It's like a tune-up, and then we got one more Grand Prix Midwesterns before Nationals, where this thing's all kind of like, these guys are just all rounding into form. Nationals, of course, is going to be, the 5th to the 8th of March. But now's also a great time to look for all the other tournaments that are out there on the APTA schedule. Junior Nationals is February 28th in Summit, New Jersey. The sign-ups are open for that. The men's and women's Masters Nationals and draws. Age brackets 50, 60, and 70. March 6th and 7th in Franklin Lakes. Team Nationals. Have you ever competed in Team Nationals,
I have
Steve?
not. This year could be my year.
All right, Team Nationals. Look out for Steve Sullivan. For the men, it's March 28th and 29th in New Jersey, and Team Nationals for the women. Great season ender, April 11th and 12th in Chicago's. And married, mixed, and mixed Nationals, April 19th, also in Chicago, 18th and 19th. So
yeah, it's crunch time.
Yep, all the major tournaments coming up. And Team Nationals is, by all accounts, an absolute blast. And it's for players of all levels. You get your team together within basically a 10-point PTI range, and you compete in that range.
Yeah, we obviously stream a lot. We talk a lot about the APTA Tour and these 19, 20 events throughout the season, the Grand Prix, the Nationals, but league play, right, the social aspect of all of our clubs and all of our leagues across the country is really that social aspect that Team Nationals can replicate, right?
Take care from Mello.
Yeah.
He actually ran into it a little. He had to stay a little outside the ball. He was there, but he didn't give himself the right space. Great rip behind him. All right, they're bleeding here. They just got to get a game, Hansen and Mello, and get into when the points are getting, it's like, where do you go from here? Hansen tried cutting every ball and making it. And as we said in the beginning of the match, if his cuts are going to be on the negative side, like he's losing more points cutting the ball than winning it, they're going to have very little chance, because without that, they're going to have to slow it down. But we don't see that happening either, right? So it's going to be a little tricky. That was a big bomb there. So it's almost at this point, they're just hoping Regalado and Salazar start to miss more, right? And generally speaking, that's not.
It's not going to happen.
It doesn't happen.
And they've slowed it down a little bit. Yeah.
They did miss that ball there.
Yeah.
But right now, they're playing with house money, meaning like it's a 15, 40 point, and they're crushing drives and winning points with that anyway. So it's a good risk reward for them.
went to the well again.
Yep. And, you know, just it's a harder day to really make the ball move as much. The success that he's had has been on the low one, but that was sort of a mid-height one. I would say that's really been the success. It's been the one that he's gotten low that you're getting almost shoulder height to slightly below. That's a great return. Also, he's returned phenomenally. But here's been the biggest issue is how are they going to win points when they take the net. Oh, a little tricky little drive with a blitz behind there from Regalado. See, Hansen should be a little more on the line to me, right? And Mello more in, and that's definitely Mello's volley.
Yeah, a little.
And you can see that a little
yeah.
competition on that. And when Hansen thinks he should be volleying that to me means, you know, they haven't played together enough, and B, it's also just going to lead to more errors, right? Because now you're looking for two different things: the line you got to cover plus the middle, right? You should just look for one shot there. Cuts down the mistakes because the driver there actually has a good advantage. He can pick his spot. Oh, he goes cut drive. All right. He's trying to the cut drive. And the whole thing, they're in great position at the net. What he's counting on by hitting that shot is that it's going to spin down off their paddles and they'll possibly miss it in the net.
Yeah, it's a tough ball to volley. I mean, it's why people hit it. You know, you talked earlier, Brad, the temperatures we talk a lot about, you know, should you be hitting drop shots, you know, are there different techniques? But the ball compression, it limits the ability to get the spin that you typically get.
Like drop shots in this weather? Absolutely, right? You get a good opportunity to hit a drop shot and disguise a little bit. Should 100% to be doing drops. All right, this thing's moving quick here. 40-15, Regalado Salazar about to take a 5-love lead in the second set. Good two-hander. Great redirected volley. I mean, Hansen right there. Just has to turn the angle on the paddle, gets it away from him. And this is a perfect match, actually, for Regalado and Salazar, too, meaning at this point, sort of like Hansen and Mello are sort of playing into their hands, right? They're not they're not trying to outwork them.
No, and you
right?
can see,
they're not trying to outwork them.
The body language, they're smiling. Actually, they're enjoying themselves. They're playing some fun paddle.
Right.
Which in one respect is nice to see. In the other respect, it's like they've sort of already mailed it in a little bit. And they're just playing. They're just sort of playing points. They're not giving up. They're competing. But, sometimes you see the fire of, you know, in the first set, they were fighting, right? And I think they had a big opportunity in the first set.
They were making them feel them now. And I think it was a big deal that they didn't get off to a good start here for them. Regalado Salazar, the only danger for them is that they somehow get off script and just start missing a boatload of balls, but highly unlikely. And they've been just returning so well. Look, there's another inside the court return with an attack behind it.
And it's almost 75%.
Generating points.
He's moving forward. He gets that dipper. And almost you're in the offensive.
And here's another one, right? Moving forward. Little dink. Great shot. You know, and there was that one moment where they did the different service strategy that we thought was good. You know, at this point, they're just coming in.
Yeah.
You know, but it was really that one moment. The biggest area is these guys have been on the return end of the game, just crushing it. All right, so triple match point here for Regalado and Salazar.
Extra body language there from Alfie Regalado.
Good hold. He shows the cutter, but then goes long, but still able to get it is Regalado. He's so good. There's the extra cutter, but he can't get that ball. Would go backwards in most games. He's working it as good as he can.
Yeah, it's in.
Tweener. No, they wanted the tweener. They wanted it. It was there.
One of the, not the longest point of the match, maybe the most exciting point of the match.
That was a lot of fun, actually. You could see Hansen really going to work. These guys responded and even took some offensive cuts. All right, great cutoff. They're just coming for it again. All right. Dink and blitz. That's going to do it.
That's got
Wait. I thought he was going to get it. He had him there, but great job from Hansen.
No! Hit him.
Oh, unbelievable. Great duck. Beautifully done. This is insane. It's like a highlight reel. Oh no! All right, I have to tell you, that was two of the most fun points you could ever watch. Had that sort of exhibition feel to it, but it just highlights stuff. Amazing. Players all loved it. You can see them all smiles out there. Hansen, Mello, good turn, but they won a tough first round. So good job from them. They'll move on into the reprieve draw, and Regalado Salazar march to the quarters. So let's take a look just at the match stats. The final match stats brought to you by Court Director.
Yeah, I mean, a little bit more of one-way traffic. That set accelerated through it. The point differential extended. One student Deuce point, they won it, obviously, with it, winning the set that big. But yeah, it got fun. Obviously, that's the type of level these players can, bring to a point. But yeah, Regalado and Salazar playing really good paddle, in control. They weathered a little bit of a storm in the first set and then just accelerated from there.
Yeah, they certainly did, and that was a great matchup. And then that's a wrap for this men's round of 16, and we'll be back shortly, basically at 1 o'clock with the women's quarterfinal round action. So everybody stay tuned, and we'll see you then.
See ya.
The business owners that I'm working with have entrusted Corient in this work because we're really focused on supporting them in their important endeavors. They're functioning every day in their zone of genius, and their expectation of us is we're doing the same. My name is Anna Diaz. I'm a partner and wealth advisor at Corient. When we think about the work we're doing for our clients, we think about first financial, absolutely. It is not uncommon that our very successful business owners and clients are making disjointed decisions. Our job is to provide a proactive strategy so the filter in which they make these decisions is informed. Second is the emotional load. Our clients often are asking themselves, what am I missing? Our job is to remove that mental load so they feel that their strategy is optimized, is simplified, and is executed cleanly. And the third is generational. Absolutely, there is technical design that goes into that, but it is also the thoughtful impact they want to have with what they've created.
Hi, I'm B. Lopez, and today I'm going to give you a tip driving off the screen. So for driving off the screen, especially on the do side, a lot of times I see people leaving the ball too far behind. It's all about footwork and getting ready for that shot. So make sure you guys leave the ball out in front of you so you have way more room to drive that ball. I'm B. Lopez. Hope you enjoyed this tip. Vamos!